Shalom, Brother Bakwash, back on that scene. Back on that scene, got something on my mind on my lunchtime break. Not going to be very long at all. Got to go back to the plantation. And the Sabbath is going to be coming in in a few hours. Hope everyone had a great week. I did. A little tiring, but I had a great week. And a lot happening in the news. How many of you, probably a lot of you not even interested in it, but the Tucker Carlson interview with Vladimir Putin. Great interview. And he pretty much is saying all America has to do is stop funding the Ukraine and he'll back off. And he's claiming, great interview. He claims in the interview that the Ukraine was always theirs. Always theirs for a minute at least. And he has no qualms with Poland. He's not going to attack Poland unless attacked. But all America has to do is pull out as far as funding the Ukraine, and he'll stop. Showing you what a bunch of BS this country's established on. Crap. But he's saying all they have to do is back away. And, this, again, we know that the nature of Esau. We've discussed this many times. He's a man of war. He's a warmonger, and he's not going to stop warring. That's his nature. So, like I said before, stop crying for peace, because there's not going to be any peace. The Most High said this is the beginning of sorrows. The beginning of sorrows. But yeah, check it out to yourself. But it's a lot going on, and it's all prophecy of the Heavenly Father, man. Bottom line. Check it out.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Livingston.
And I'm Jay Struberg. Russian President Vladimir Putin is calling for the U.S. to cut off military aid to Ukraine and says it's up to the U.S. to arrange negotiations to end the war.
See these devils, they fighting amongst each other. The same way we do stupidness and we fight against each other, they doing the same damn thing. Same thing. But on a different level. They're doing it based on prophecy, and we're doing the same thing, Our evils is based on prophecy as well. Brother shall hate brother, and brothers is gonna hate the husband is gonna hate the wife, and vice versa. We know what's up. The ones of us who are spiritual and we look into the book. But look, all they have to do is stop funding the Ukraine. That's all they have to do. But they're not going to do that. That's not going to happen because everybody in the world of Edom, the so-called white man, they're looking out for their best interests. They're looking out for their best interests, and it's about money, power, and control. That's what it's about. So the war goes on. The saga continues, and all we got to do, like I said before, is just sit back, relax, and watch. That's all we got to do. Sit back and relax, and respect the Most High, of course. Check it out.
Putin's remarks came in a largely non-confrontational interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, calling Ukraine a, quote, satellite of the U.S. Putin said American leaders should recognize Russia had legitimate reasons for its 2022 invasion.
Here with his reaction to the interview is Jack Barsky. He worked as a Soviet spy in America for 10 years and then escaped the KGB by faking his own death. A remarkable story. He also wrote about his experiences in his book, Deep Undercover.
You know what also was interesting? Putin said that the media all around the world is controlled by America. I believe it's bigger than that. But, with most of these Fox News and CNN and this and Scarborough Country and whatever, you either got to read between the lines or you got to do deep research to get the truth. Bottom line, you have to do all these things just to get the truth. And he's no fool. He's no fool. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows what's going on. He's very clear-minded. He's a very smart man, from what I could tell from the interview. But man, let's see what this guy's saying. Let's see what he's got to say.
Really glad to get to speak with you today because this interview is catching some headlines, and you know about the inner workings of the Kremlin. So When you were approached by the KGB in your early 20s, they convinced you that you were on the right side of history. Now, President Putin is still trying to paint a narrative that decisions to invade Ukraine were justified. How much did this interview help him advance that narrative?
Depends upon which audience you're talking about. With regard to the home audience, that home run, because here I am, you're talking to one of the most prominent journalists, quote unquote journalists, in the United States, and I owned the guy, and I took him to school. With regard to the American audience, I think if they're like me, they were. I require hardship pay for having to watch this 2-hour boring lecture, fundamentally a lecture by Putin. He owned Tucker Carlson, and
it wasn't boring at all. A lot of information came out of it, and I believe he spoke most of what he said was the truth. Most of what he said was the truth, and it's like if you own a block of land and a smaller block, you let them do what they want to do, but legally you own that small block of land, and another group comes and tries to bring them into their personal group or bring them into the UN, you're going to have a problem with that. You have your land and you have a smaller group and you let them do what they want to do, but they really belong to you, and the UN is stretching out its arms and trying to bring you or bring that smaller group into their group or the UN. You're going to have a problem with that, especially if you warn them and say, don't do this. Don't do this or I will attack the Ukraine. Don't do this, Ukraine, or I will attack you. Can you imagine that? Or let's say one of the a part of the United States was going to be taken over by Russia, or want to leave the or a part of the United States want to leave the United States, like Texas or Florida. Suppose they just upped and said, we want to be a part of Russia. That's going to be a problem. That's going to cause conflict. So I don't see any parts of what he said was a lie. I just don't see that. It was a great interview to me. It was very interesting. He went through, in the beginning of the interview, he went through the history of the Ukraine and its relationship with Russia and how they are part of Russia. And they were warned not to be a part of the UN. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. So I thought it was a great interview. But like he said, Putin, that certain powers that be, he said America, but I believe it's bigger than America, controls the media. And if you can control the media, you can control the narrative of what people believe or the stories. Hey, Shalom, you're going to control those things. So America has a heavy price to pay, man. And it's the beast that's going to be roasted with fire. So I don't see, it was boring at all. He even said that. He said to Tucker, I'm going to bore you with such and such, but these are things you need to know. Not in those exact words, but, he was quite clear on why he was saying what he was saying as far as the history of the Ukraine and Russia and Poland. And he said he has no reason to attack Poland unless they're attacked. So we'll just see how that plays because, Esau or the Edomites, they're liars too now. So we'll just see how that plays out. But to me, it was a very great interview.
If I may volunteer, Mr. Carlson.
Notice they want to silence Putin so much, they won't even play clips of what he said. I mean, at this point, it's my first time watching this segment of this coverage of the interview from this particular network. But I bet I wouldn't be surprised if they don't play anything this man says, because that was the whole idea, to silence him. And did you know before Tucker Carlson went out there, he got about 3 death threats? Three death threats who he believes comes from the CIA, warning him not to go out there, warning him because they want to silence any information that can come from Russia or Putin in regards to the war in the Ukraine. And one thing that Tucker said that was very powerful, he said that they've since the war, they've been covering the Ukraine or spokespersons or people are representing the Ukraine. You've been hearing news from them and what's going on, as far as those aspects, but not once have they interviewed Putin. They never got his side of the story. They never got him speaking about the war in deep detail and his feelings of as far as what's unfair and what's fair in regards of the war. So you got to think on those levels too. You got to think on those levels too, because the media is definitely biased. It's biased and it's controlled, and it's a reality you got to face. This is a hardcore reality that needs to be faced. Check it out.
Was woefully unprepared.
Yeah, it was not confrontational whatsoever. No sense of any holding the feet to the fire or anything like that.
Like a normal journalist would do, because he's a commentator.
Look at these puppets, man. How many of you saw the interview with Monique on the Shay Shay Club, Shannon Sharp's page? Man, she brought it out. She brought it out, and she showed that these so-called Negroes are nothing but a bunch of puppets. A bunch of puppets. She brought it out, man. And, it opened my eyes. Well, my eyes were already open, but it showed. See if I could fix this. It showed that these people are a bunch of slaves. Our people I'm talking about. There's this man, a few of them, they stab each other in the back, man. And they're afraid of the so-called J people to the point that they will cower and be a good slave to the small hats and the J people. I was surprised what she said about Kevin Hart, man. Absolutely surprised. Watch the interview. I ain't going to spoil it, but Kevin Hart said he would look out for Monique. In other words, he got understanding on as far as what this sister was going through. And, they hung up. They had a good conversation. He was like, I got you, sis. They hung up. And this Negro still went back and stabbed her in the back. It didn't help her. Same thing with Steve Harvey. Same, Oprah's a beast. So this just shows that, don't listen to these stupid Negroes talking about they're going to bring us up as a people in this country. Because us who have money, who have millions and millions of dollars, they cower. They cower to the powers that be. So there's no hope that's going to come from movie stars, stand-up comedians. We see that. We saw that with the interview with Monique. We saw that with Cat Williams. We saw these interviews, and they put it out, man. They gave everybody who watched those videos a dose of reality, how this system really works and how we're nothing but slaves, and you can't even trust your own people. You can't even trust your own people. This dude that plays Medea, that dude is a wretched beast. Totally made up a lie about Monique and said that she's impossible to work with or hard to work with. I can't remember the exact words he used, but ruined her for the last 10 years. She lost millions of dollars she could have made because they pretty much blackballed her, man. They blackballed her. A dude that wears a dress. Come on, man. But basically what Monique what I picked up what she's trying to do, she's trying to get them to like protest and stop spending money and stop supporting these comedians, stop supporting Tyler Perry and his movies. I couldn't believe it. And she recorded this dude apologizing and saying he lied. He put that lie out against her and ruined this woman. absolutely ruined her. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because I say it, I'm going to keep saying it. My job, as well as the other brothers and sisters, is to kill your hope and your faith and your desires and your dreams to want to grow and be a part of this system, and to turn you around and to renew your mind and bring you back to the Most High. Because the super rich, they're not going to help you. The super rich, they're not going to help you. The Most High says in James 2 verse 5, hearken, my beloved brethren, has not the Most High chosen the poor of this world rich in faith? See? The Most High, his eyes are focused on the poor who humble themselves to the Most High, who humble themselves to the word of the Most High, who's in the book. You understand? I'm not saying the Most High has turned his back totally on the rich that have faith in the Most High, but it's easier to reach the poor than the rich. And we see that. When you watch them damn interviews, we see that there's a big difference. There's a big difference, man, in your faith in regards of serving the Most High poor and serving the Most High rich. We see that, man. And man, I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be some repercussions. People are they're gonna get their heart broken when that money goes. When that money goes, you're gonna see a lot of sad people, man. A lot of sad people. Man. I mean, she brought that out, man. She brought it out, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Let me see if I can get a little piece of that. I don't want to get a flag, but let me see if I can bring some of that. It was beautiful, man, because it was an eye-opener. Because a lot of people look up to these stars, man. They look up to these stars, and they believe these guys are the next thing to Jesus. Yeah, they believe they're the next thing to Jesus, man. See if I can get some of this, but what was his name? Kevin Hart. I think I said Chris Tucker earlier. I didn't mean to say Chris Tucker if I said that. But Kevin Hart, man, that dude is a damn coward, man. A coward. These dudes do not want to part way with their money. Bottom line, they do not want to part way with their money. Coward, man. It is right here. Check it out. Let me see if I get some of this. If you can check this out before I go back to the damn devil. The devil meaning work. Excuse me. But I want to show you. Let me see if I can get this. Goddamn shame, man.
This man, he was like my brother.
He been out hustling you for a minute, Mo.
He wasn't. That's why it's so beautiful, because we were like, we had a place together. He would see my...
Boy, she talking about her man. Let me see if I get back to that. Let me see if I get that. God, these commercials is ridiculous. Bear with me a moment. Yeah, man, but Kevin Hart, man, I thought it was a stand-up dude, man. So at least somewhat. I know the devil's on your neck, but damn, boy, they don't respect these. They have no integrity whatsoever, man. None. Let's see if I get this up.
Attorneys, right? And they're telling you all the good things. And everybody always said to me, you want to get the syndication.
Yes.
You want to get the syndication. Once you get the syndication,
She's going into how the real deal, how this really works. The real deal she's going into. How this really works. That's what she's tapping into. The real deal behind the scenes in Hollywood and when you make it big. She touches on that a lot. Touches on that a hell of a lot.
Because you want to work.
Right.
Right?
So syndication is what, 5 years, 100 episodes?
Syndication is 100 episodes.
Okay.
Right? So that's all I knew. I didn't know to ask to be an executive producer of my own image.
Oh.
And nobody told me. I didn't know to ask for that.
She's, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but she's basically saying that, the things that she didn't know, other brothers and sisters didn't step to her and show her how things work so she can make money. One person she put on blast was Whoopi Goldberg. So nobody, put her on, pulled her by by the arm and said, yo, these devils is robbing you. This is what you need to do, A, B, and C. You would think that our people would do that. The J people, they do it amongst each other. The Chinese people, they do it amongst each other. They put each other on and they look out for each other. Even the damn Hamites, so-called Africans, they look out for one another. But she's basically saying nobody looked out for her. That's what she's saying. She had to find out the hard way after losing millions and millions of dollars.
I didn't know to ask for after the third year of being on a successful sitcom that you could say, I now need a bonus. I didn't know to even negotiate that, and no one told me to negotiate that.
They're definitely not going to tell you.
All they kept saying is, when you get the syndication, when you get the syndication, when you get the syndication. Well, 3 years in, the Parkers was in syndication. Now, no one told me that. You learn it once you open your eyes, because now I'm going around the country doing promos. The Parkers is coming on at 4 o'clock in your city. The Parkers will be on at 2:30 in Sacramento. Y'all make sure y'all watch the Parkers. It's coming on. I'm not knowing I'm promoting the show in syndication. No one told me that.
This is how the real world works, man. And you know who's really behind it. This is why I'm surprising her, but I know she's on this brother's platform. She can't say it. But it's the J people. It's the J people that's running the show. And they some greedy bastards at times. And then when I say at times, I mean 99% of the times. But that's what it is. And then our people, they such cowardly people, they're not going to tell her. They're not telling her the truth of what's going on. They're not going to tell her. And that's part of the curse. This is why I said, if you stack up all the nations on this earth, we're the only ones that can't lend to other nationalities of people. We're the main ones who are borrowing from other nationalities of people. Financially, we cannot compete with other nationalities outside of ours because there's a curse on us, man. And when you tell so-called Negroes this, they get mad. They get mad. But if so, from after slavery, 1865 to current 2024, tell me, is there anybody who we are financially equipped to compete with? We have had a particular business that's running and thriving like a Verizon or AT&T or Sears and Roebuck or Macy's. Has the black community have they had someone in our communities that we can focus on and look on, or a company that we can look towards and be proud of and say, yo, that company's going up against Shell. It's going up against Mobil. It's going up against Ford. No, because the scriptures clearly say we shall borrow and they shall lend. And we shall be in the want of all things. That doesn't fit anybody but us, man. It don't fit nobody but us. You understand? It don't fit anybody but us. And people get mad when you show them that. They get pissed off. So even among these idiots that's in the entertainment world, they can't succeed. They stab each other in the back because they are afraid of one particular group of people, and we all know who that is. Kanye brought it out. A few people brought it out. Certain basketball players, they brought it out. The Lord said in Deuteronomy 28, verse 43, it says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high. The Chinese are above you very high. The East Indians are above you very high. The Japanese are above you very high. All nations are above you very high. They have banks. You don't have any banks. Your banks fold. They have dealerships. You don't have dealerships. You have rinky-dink parking lots with a couple of cars you sell. They have TV commercials. and they're able to compete and run their business the way they want, you don't do that. Because the curse is on you. The stranger that is within thee shall get up very high, and thou shalt come down very low. And and you see this, we're very low. 44 verse says, he shall lend to thee, whether it's a bank loan or some type of loan with high interest, which is usury. Loans you usually can't pay back. So the Lord said, he shall lend to thee. To the so-called Negro and Hispanics, the enemy shall lend to you. The Chinese shall lend to you. The East Indians shall lend to you. The white man, definitely, he shall lend to you. And then when you read on, it says, and thou, meaning the Israelites, shall not lend to him. Now show me since 1865 when you have lent money to the so-called J people or the Chinese people or East Indian people. Show me. I was on somebody's page, a couple of pages, and so-called Negroes, ninjas, got mad as hell when I brought this information out to them. Mad as hell. And still pushing the vote, and we got to open this, and we got to do this. And I said, if that was going to work, it would have worked over 100 years ago. Over 100 years ago, it would have worked. It has not worked. So it's two things then. Either we're the dumbest people on earth or we're cursed. Either we're the most foolish, ignorant, dumbest people on the earth, so-called blacks and Negroes, so-called Hispanics, or we are cursed. Which is it? Which seems more likely that we would fit into? I think we would be cursed because we're not totally dumb. Look at Oprah. Look at Tyler Perry, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, before he died, Michael Jackson, Prince, or 50 Cent now. Look at 50. You got all these people. You telling me they can't pool their money in together and compete against the J people? Nope. Because they too afraid and the other people got so much power, he might attack one of them and he might say, oh, I'm not going to go down like that and everybody stay rich. So they keep them nice and divided and dumb and in their place. And that's what Monique is talking about. But she doesn't understand we're cursed. And that these so-called Negroes will never, ever, ever come back together. They will never come together, and that money's going to stay in the so-called J people's pocket until the missiles come. 44 verse again says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. How do you get around that? How do you get around that? That's straight out the Bible. But you can't show that to these so-called Negroes. They will get mad. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see anything talking about a curse. They want to love America and keep doing what they're doing. Most High says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments and the statutes which he commanded thee. See? So you can run, you can hide, you're not going to escape these curses. But that's what she's talking about. But she's not going, and I can respect her not saying directly who she's talking about. I think she's scared too to even say that. I don't even believe she has the guts to say it's the so-called J people. Because, it would put her in deeper hot water. I watched a video with Alex Jones. Great video. And he was going at it with this guy, Peter something. And in that interview, he was scared. Alex Jones was scared to go into deep detail with this guy, Peter. He was going in. Great interview. He was going in. He was showing how the CIA is controlled by the so-called J people, or where the money goes as far as the so-called J people. He pretty much was saying the so-called J people run this country, run this world. And Alex knew he was telling the truth. Alex Jones he did not want to go deep into that. He was cutting the guy off, trying to change the subject, saying, are we going to talk about those people or Zionists? I can say that word, Zionists, all day long. Yo, they got power. We got to accept the fact that they got power. They got power. And that's what Monique is dealing with. That's what Tyler Perry and Oprah and all these sellout slaves, that's what they're dealing with. So it just makes me understand more and more, and I know it makes you brothers and sisters understand more and more that this system, you're not going to vote your way out of a condition. America is not going to get better through voting. I had a bunch of Negroes knock on my door the other day and was telling me that I should vote, and are you just going to sit on your hands? And, year after year, decade after decade, they still believe in the foolishness. They still won't let it go. They won't let it go. It's a waste of damn time. It's a waste of time. And it's an insult to your intelligence when someone comes and tell you this garbage. It's an insult. The Lord said in Hosea 4:1, hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord has a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. The same way there was no knowledge of God when we were in captivity abroad, the same thing pertains to this land. The knowledge of God and truth and righteousness does not exist in this land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood touches blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and every one that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. And that's what happened to us in the past. They're doing what we did. They're doing what we did. So what's going to happen? The same thing that happens over and over. The Most High said there's no new thing under the sun. America will be judged. America will be judged, man. Got to face that reality. Check it out.
All we're doing is saying if we get to 5 years, we got to 5 years. 110 episodes, me and a beautiful young lady named Countess Vaughn, who was my baby to this day.
This is...
Commercials are ridiculous, man. Sorry about that, y'all.
Yeah.
Right? You're supposed to be equal.
Yeah.
Once we got to the 5 years, my attorney,
Yeah.
and the agents said, oh, the Parkers made money. Y'all gonna get paid from the Parkers. It's made money. Okay. Years go by.
Check this out.
By 2004, the Parkers, we went off the air in 2004, right? In 5 years, by 2009, the Parkers had made $800 million.
Now, who does this sound like that would do a diabolical, wicked beast of a action like this? Does it sound like Italians? Does it sound like Germans? Who does it sound like that you listen, keep listening, check it out.
You like, oh yeah.
Stay with me.
Money.
Money.
Yeah.
Hey, come on.
Money.
Hey, yeah. All right. Okay, because we're waiting to get this money Santa. Check is coming. We get a call. We got to do an audit, and everything. Okay. And that was in 2009 that it made $800 million. We're now in 2024. And they're trying to convince Countess Vaughn and I that show made no money.
Who does that sound like? Who the hell does that sound like? You know damn well who makes moves like that. You know damn well who makes moves like that. So when I see things like this, man, and it just further encourages me to know, one, who the devil is on this earth is, the physical arm of the devil, rather. And two, you ain't gonna never make it as a people mighty and strong in this country. Maybe as an individual here and there, but you're never going to make it in this country. You're never going to make it. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to play too much of that because I'll go back a little bit more, but knowing that these devils are going to flag me.
No.
They're trying to convince us that a show that cost roughly $65 million to make. In our last year of shooting the Parkers, Countess Vaughn and I made $55,000 apiece.
That's it? How much were you making an episode?
$55,000 an episode.
Okay, so how many episodes did you shoot that last
5 years. That last year we shot 22 episodes.
Okay.
We made $55,000 apiece at the end of a top-rated sit.
Hold on, time out. Are you saying you made $55,000 for 22 episodes, or are you saying you made $55,000 per episode? Because I want to make sure I'm hearing you.
Let me make.
This is not hard. This is not hard for me to believe, man. This is not hard for me to believe. Not at all. I'll go back a little bit so you can see it. But it's not hard for me to believe at all. Check it out again.
You know, a lot of investors.
Cleaning out the pool. And he says, I said, if I was there, I would have said, and that was 30 minutes of what I would have said. Then he said, I dare you to go down next Wednesday.
I don't know what happened. I lost
Made money. Okay. Years go by. By 2004, the Parkers, we went off the air in 2004, right? In 5 years, by 2009, the Parkers had made $800 million.
You're like, oh yeah.
Stay with me.
Money.
Money.
Yeah.
Hey, come on.
Money.
Hey, yeah. All right. Okay. Because we waiting to get that money, Santa. Check is coming. We get a call. We got to do an audit, and everything. Okay. And that was in 2009 that it made $800 million. We're now in 2024. And they're trying to convince Countess Vaughn and I that show made no money.
No.
They're trying to convince us that a show that cost roughly $65 million to make. In our last year of shooting the Parkers, Countess Vaughn and I made $55,000 apiece.
That's it? How much were you making an episode?
$55,000 an episode.
Okay, so how many episodes did you shoot that last
5 years. That last year we shot 22 episodes.
Okay.
We made $55,000 apiece at the end of a top-rated sit.
Hold on, time out. Are you saying you made $55,000 for 22 episodes, or are you saying you made $55,000 per episode? Because I want to make sure I'm hearing you.
Let me make sure you hear me correctly. We did 22 episodes.
Yes.
We were paid $55,000 per episode.
Okay.
For 22 shows.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
That's on a hit show.
Right.
That is unheard of.
Yeah.
Because we're two black women. I don't know to fight for it.
Right.
Countess is a baby
Right.
in this business. So I don't know to say that.
We should be making $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 an episode.
So now today, y'all want to convince us that show made no money? That show has made over $2 billion, and I'm guesstimating. And you want to convince us that our percentage, we made no money? We can't allow that to happen.
Right.
That's why we're fighting. That's why we're saying, no, guys, we can't sit on our hands.
Goddamn shame. Goddamn shame. But had she known who the devil is on this earth and her nationality, I'm not saying don't get money, but had she known, she would have been better prepared to deal with the situation. But the point is, her own people, our people, didn't help her. They didn't put her on. Oprah didn't speak to her. Damn, Steve Harvey didn't speak to her. Tyler Perry didn't speak to her. They, but the other nations, the other heathens, they do these things on the side. They help each other out. They look out for one another. But her own people did not look out for her. Her own people. Her own people did her dirty.
Sorry, Sue, I can't get the
Her own
Wi-Fi.
people.
No one can.
So I'm not surprised. Check it out. Check it, this buffoon.
Baby, he be saying it like I'm a problem.
Oh, you have been a problem.
Well, Steve, okay.
What was it? Let's go.
Let's go.
You started getting labeled as difficult.
Yes.
Why do you believe that?
Tyler Perry put out the lie that she's difficult to work with. And then later admitted, she secretly recorded him saying it too and played the tape to Shay Shay. But Tyler Perry put out the lie that she's difficult to work with and pretty much blackballed her. Then later admitted he lied, he was sorry, so on and so forth. So she's pretty much trying to, get money out of him because of what he put her through for over 10 years. And he's saying, I don't give money out freely. And then he came back and said, well, you gave free money out to TD Jakes. He said, I'm not in the habit of giving money away just for nothing. And she came back and said, well, you gave money to TD Jakes, who's now being revealed as a damn freak and talking about, have you ever been swallowed? These guys are all a bunch of phonies. All a bunch of phonies. Every one of them. And this is what Cat Williams and this is what Monique is bringing out lately. Or this is what's coming out lately. Check it out, though.
That happened. And do you see that changing and why?
I got labeled as difficult, my husband and my husband is Sydney, who happens to be my manager. We got labeled as difficult because I said one word, and that was no. Now, I said no to some very powerful people. I said no to Oprah Winfrey. I said no to Tyler Perry. I said no to Lee Daniels, and I said no to Lionsgate. And the difficulty came in when...
I tried to look up who owns Lionsgate. I wanted to see if the so-called J people was behind it. And it was so much crap. To pinpoint exactly who owned it, it was very difficult. But I have an idea who owns it.
And people that look like me, like Oprah, Tyler, Lee Daniels, and I gotta put my brother Steve on the list. Y'all knew I was not wrong. Each one of you said to me, Monique, you're not wrong. And when I heard you go on the air and you said, my sister done burnt too many bridges, and there's nothing I can do for her now. Steve, do you know how hurt I was?
Simone,
You listen closely. She burnt too many bridges behind her in regards of who? I guarantee you it's the so-called J people. She's at Steve Harvey fairs. I guarantee you. I guarantee you.
Steve, do you know how hurt I was?
Simone, now let me give you this. Because you and I had this conversation, I thought you went about it wrong. See, I felt that you had done yourself a disservice by the way you chose to go about it.
Tell me how I went about it.
I was cool with you, with your deal with Netflix. I was cool with you. The two problems that we had, number one, the boycott of Netflix,
yes.
We never gave people a point of action. Okay, if we're gonna boycott, are we gonna not get subscriptions? Are we gonna turn it off? Or are we gonna go down there and get signs? The second point what was coming to me was, this problem that you had in Netflix is rich people problems. Because they looking at us going, you talking about you didn't get millions, or you got this, you ought to be cool.
But when you say, Mo, it's the way you went about it, and I want to explain that, and I thank you for saying that. Inequality is devastating, and it's extreme. And when people said, Monique, do you think calling a boycott was extreme? You damn right. But isn't inequality extreme? So we've got to get to a place where we're unafraid to say it out loud. Okay. What I would
see now that's a problem because these Negroes will never say that out loud. Number one, they are afraid of the so-called J people. Number two, they're not unified. And number three, the money has poisoned their minds. So they will never do that. That's just not going to happen. And at the same time, they have you so-called Negroes still believing in the system, still believing in the lies, still believing in Hollywood, still looking shine-eyed at the rich and famous and chasing a dream that has poisoned the very people who you look up to and will poison you in the end or turn you into a freak or a whore or a deviant or a drug addict. That's the real deal. It's all a lie. It's all fake. And it's all of the devil. And this is what the Bible talks about. This is what the Bible cleanses us of. The Most High says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. You know, the Most High tells you that, man. He says to focus on spirituality. But the shine and the brightness and the glitter, it's just too bright. It's too bright, and a lot of brothers can't turn it off. They just can't. They can't turn it off. A lot of sisters, they can't turn it off. Look how they made the sisters. They're turning them into whores. They're turning the men into sweetie boys. Every day we sing this, even more and more. The Most High is just letting it come out now.
I would have loved, what I would have appreciated from my brother was had you picked up the phone before you went on the air and said, Monique, you've burned too many bridges and there's nothing I can do. See, I would have appreciated had my brother called me up and said, baby.
See, I don't see that. I think that's disingenuous right there, what she's talking about, because bottom line is she wants money. She wants money too. She's speaking some, she's dropping some bombs and she's speaking the truth, but I believe she wants to be paid just like these other dudes as well. Because had he told her that, she would have came back at him with something. She would have still came back at him with something. It's just that when you're in that world, it's hard to walk away. It's hard to walk away. And you can easily be replaced in that world. And if you step too hard, they kill you. So I don't believe what she's saying.
Let's talk. Because you doing that was a part of me being difficult.
But not before that, though.
Yes, baby.
Remember the moment on stage?
Oh, yes.
See, now that
right was a
there.
wonderful moment.
No,
Steve.
it wasn't.
Oh,
Monique.
my goodness.
No, it wasn't.
That was one of those moments.
See, no, it wasn't.
That Richard Pryor whispered in my ear and said, say it. You say it.
Richard
because
Pryor did
I'm
not
tell
tell
you
you to say that
yes,
with
he
your
did.
crazy ass.
Oh, baby, yes, he did. Yes, he did. I do not regret, as I said on the Steve Harvey show, I do not regret one moment of that night on that stage.
No, in case you don't know, Mo told Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey,
Tell him.
and Lee Daniels to suck her private parts.
Not my private parts.
Well, you said if I had one,
Yeah.
I want them three to suck my private parts.
Yeah.
It wasn't private parts on.
See right there, that's you're not gonna make any moves or get anything if you're telling people that. She's pretty much done. She's blackballed. And the only thing she can do is go beast on the ones that's at the top, where she wanted to be. And this is what I'm saying. You know, I think she's sincere in what she's saying, but I think part of it is because she can't get some of the loot that they're getting. And this is how our people move, man. She said the solution to the problem is the truth. If we speak 100% of truth, she said, and that's true, but the solution is living righteously. That's what it is, with your brother and your sisters, living righteously. So this problem will never go away. It's not going to go away because everybody wants money. And remember what I said? I've been saying it the last 2 months. The problem that a lot of our people are going to have to face, the problem that our people that's going to be a major struggle and battle for our people as we go forward into 2025 and on, is money. People outside of the faith is going to be an issue when the money dries up. People in the faith, you're going to see them change when the money starts to dry up and the Most High put those crossroads in front of us. It could be me. It could be you. It could be any of us. But I'm telling you, the money and the fame and the recognition, these are heavy burdens of devils that can corrupt your mind if you don't have the spirit of the Most High in you. And that's what's happening, because she's not totally squeaky clean. Don't believe that for a second. She's not totally squeaky clean. Trust me on that. A bit of it is sour grapes because she wants what they have, and she wants to get in the club and they won't let her in because they Uncle Tom slaves. And at the same time, she keeps it real, but she didn't get in. So she's beasting out at the same time too. But she's speaking facts. Check it out. You're going to see Steve's dumb out.
On stage. So now, then I went, I quit breathing. I quit breathing for you.
I didn't.
What happened to you, Mo,
Yes.
was when you made that statement, the narrative got flipped. It wasn't about Netflix no more. It wasn't about Netflix no more. The attention was all off of
That
where
was
we
before
needed to go.
Netflix.
Huh?
That was before Netflix.
So good. So now when you bring up Netflix, it don't get no win, but you done just said this to these 3 people. And these 3 people,
Yes.
not because
You
they're
can look at the expression on her face, and she knows she was wrong. She knew she got so, whenever she made that statement, she was so pissed off, she couldn't control herself. And I've been there, and a lot of us been there. When you say something and then later you regret you said it, but you're like, oh, well, I might as well move full steam ahead. She knows she was wrong for saying that. And she know that was the final nail in the coffin as far as her having a chance. So now she's going to the people and she's hoping that people, black people, rally behind her. It's just not going to happen. Well, you never know, but I don't think it's going to happen.
powerful, but because of who they've come. And what happens is, I told you, we can't cure darkness with more darkness.
What we can do is cure it with comedy. And what I'm not going to do, Steve, I'm never, ever going to waver from my comedy show on that stage. That's my gift, and that's my freedom. And what happens is, when you allow people to start taking your freedom and your gift and making it become what makes them comfortable, we then lose. When you called me with the morning show on the phone, I said to you, Steve, my family is suffering behind this. And y'all know I did nothing wrong. Y'all know my husband did nothing wrong. But none of y'all in real time, was strong enough to go publicly and say, we can't throw our sister under the bus.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen because these Negroes are slaves. She knows the deal. Then there's sometimes you can say something you can never take back. You have to be very careful as far as what comes out your mouth. Even if you're right and you're saying it among swine, you can't take it back because swine is swine. And if you cast your pearl among swine, what does the Bible says? They will rent and tear you. And then that world is filled with swine. And it's very hard not to become swine in that world. See, we know this because we know scriptures. We believe scriptures. So we know this already. And guess what? A lot of them know it too, but the money is just too good. You're not going to give up the yachts and the money and the Lear jets, the private jets, whatever you want to call them, the cruises, and having lunch and dinner and breakfast in London, the UK, and Paris, Sweden. You're not going to forsake the ski lodges and rubbing elbows with the mucky mucks. You're not going to do that. Not going to happen, man. It's just not going to happen. James 2 verse 5, it says, "Hearken, my beloved brethren, has not the Most High chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and the heirs of the kingdom which he has promised to them that love him? But ye have despised the poor. Do not rich men oppress you and draw you before judgment seats?" Again, it says, but ye have despised the poor. These are the people that are at the top, including our people. Do not rich men oppress you and draw you before the judgment seats? Do not they blaspheme the worthy name by which ye are called? And that's exactly what you see. They blaspheme the Most High. He doesn't exist. They blaspheme the Most High and say a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man and gender doesn't exist. And you get the point. RuPaul, Magic Johnson, this guy Wayne Wade. You get the point. You're damn right. That's it. Yeah. I didn't want to say that, but you said it. You put it up there. I didn't want to go that far, but it's true. But the rich, they get tainted and they can never see the Most High the way we see it. That's why the poor is blessed. She's tight too. But Steve is on a hot seat too. Steve is tight too. And Kevin Hart, Cat Williams brought it all out about Steve. Steve is a damn phony as goddamn self. All these guys are phony. Charlamagne the God and the Breakfast Club and all these guys. She goes into that. All these guys are a bunch of damn phonies. She went in on, she was on the Breakfast Club and she went in on Charlamagne the God. These guys are all a bunch of dirty, filthy rags. I want to say something else, but you get it. Check it out.
Because Mo, listen to me. We fighting two wars here.
What war?
There's two wars. It's what your issue is, and it's what the perception of the issue is, and the narrative has changed.
See, I'm hearing what you're saying, baby, and I agree with it when the narrative changes. But if all of y'all said, this is the only issue I have with it, baby, when all of y'all said privately, to include Oprah, all of y'all said privately, I've done nothing wrong.
When you tell the truth, you have to deal with the repercussions of the truth. We black out here. We can't come out here and do it any kind of way we want to. Listen to me.
He's wrong there. He's right, but he's wrong. Big time. When you got money and you got people that have more money than you and you deal with them, you can go up against the beast. I don't know how far you're going to get. It's better to be in the Most High. But you can go against the beast a lot better than not having any money. And the power is in the people, your own people. You know how much money black people spend in this country? You know how many millions of dollars that black people, how many millions of dollars that black people spend on Tyler Perry movies and on Steve Harvey's books and the shows he's on? If these Negroes would only band together and tell other black people that worship them, don't spend no more money on Sony. Don't spend no more money on Netflix. Don't spend no more money on rap music. They could break the system. But they too cowardly. They too controlled. They're too weak and pathetic to make a move like that. And the curse is on us. And the curse is on us. But they can do that. That's what she's saying. She's pretty much, she's just about begging them for help. She's begging Oprah for help, but Oprah is not going to help her because Oprah is America's favorite mammy. She's not going to do it. Oprah has been accused of pretty much prostituting whores to trap other men for sexually deviant white men. She's been accused of that. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying what she's been accused of. Before I get a flag. I'm not saying it's true. But you're going to hope, you're going to get, you're asking for help among the wrong people. And you have good people who have money, but that one or two or three or five people with money, they can't go against the beast unless they all do it. Unless they all start their movie productions, unless they all start their own Netflix, copycat of Netflix, and the so-called J people will never let that happen. You know that's not going to happen. You can only get but so far. It doesn't matter how much money you got as a so-called black man or black woman, you will only get so far. Yeah, that's right. That's what she did. And you know they're saying she's responsible for, well, I ain't going to say that because they'll definitely flag me. But the stuff, let me chill. It got me going. But they will never let them own an NBC or get to the point where they're the lenders and no longer the tail. It's not going to happen. Not in our lifetime, not till Christ comes back. Not going to happen. And that's what she's not realizing. Steve will get his, you know. Steve will get his. They all starting to feel it now. They damn sure all starting to feel it now, man.
Your husband can't be the Sydney that he really is out here.
Let me tell you something.
That flexing,
Let me
we
tell
got to
you
flex a
something.
different way. We out here.
They hear that again. He gotta flex a different way. He's saying, whoa now, Negro ninja, back the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. Check it out.
Out here. We can't come out here and do it any kind of way we want to. Listen to me. Your husband can't be the Sydney that he really is out here.
Let me tell you something.
That flexing,
Let me
we
tell
got to
you
flex a
something.
different way. We out here in a game. This the money game.
So he's pretty much saying they're slaves and they can't act like the white man. They can't move and flex like the Chinese man. They can't move and flex like the Japanese or East Indian man. They're slaves. That's what he's saying. And Monique know he's right. Monique know he's right. Monique know he's right. You can't do it. You can't do it. Even us as Israelites in faith, we can't say the things we want to say on the job pertaining to the truth. You can't rock those fringes on all your jobs like you want to rock them. You can't do all these things. We're secret agents sometimes for the Most High. You can't rock and roll like you do on the streets. You'll be out of a job, man. I used to work at a brokerage house. They saw me on 42nd and 8th teaching, and one of this Edomite confronted me and said, "Did I see you out there?" I said, "No, you didn't see me." He said, "I saw you out there." I said, "No, you didn't see me." He said, "You must have a twin brother." I said, "You saw my twin brother." Within months, I was let go. I made a mistake on the job and they let me go, but normally I would have still been on that damn job. But ever since they saw me, you could feel the spirit was different on the job. And you know what? When they fired me, I felt like weights was off my shoulders, man. I felt relieved, nervous to a certain extent because it came out of nowhere. But I did better on unemployment and working jobs off the books, working part-time and collecting part-time unemployment. I stayed on unemployment for 2 years, and I did better. The Most High looked out for me. Most High looked out for me. Sometimes you got to just trust in the Most High. You got to trust in the Most High, man. You understand? You got to trust in the Most High. You got to just roll with it, man. But you can't. But don't be fooled for a second. Steve is right too now. Steve is an Uncle Tom stepping, fetching Muppet man, but he's right. You can't flex as Malak or Bakwash or Ben Yum Yum or Levi or Parium. You can't flex in your Hebrew spirit on the job. You're a slave. You're still a slave, man. You're in captivity and you have to keep a roof over your head, and you need a roof over your head to do your live streams, to keep your garments safe when you're going out to teach, and to deal in the spirit of the Most High. I've had ignorant brothers tell me, well, if you had faith, you would just wear the fringes to work. I said, what are you, out of your damn mind? You had one or two more. You ate too many matzahs for Passover. What's wrong with you? Brother, if you had faith, you would just wear the fringes. Some brothers say, you still working on the Shabbat? Quit the job. Have faith. I said, man, get your dumb ass away from me, man. But you got brothers who think in this capacity. I used to be dumb like that. I used to walk with a grimace look on my face and didn't want to apply for medical and this and that. I want to stay temp because I was an Israelite warrior. Ha! Can't let the white man control me. That changed after a few years. Got wisdom. But Monique is tight as hell. Monique is tight, man. Tight as hell. But yo, they don't know they slaves. They know they slaves, but they don't know the truth. They know religion, that's not the truth. They know militancy, but that's not the truth. They know how to make money, but that's not the truth. You can never be a man if you don't have the truth of the Most High or the Holy Spirit. Bottom line. Bottom line.
Repercussions of the truth. We black out here. We can't come out here and do it any kind of way we want to. Listen to me. Your husband can't be the Sydney that he really is out here.
Let me tell you something.
That flexing, we got to flex a different way. We out here in a game.
He said, that flexing. He said, look at it.
Out here.
Let me tell you something.
That flexing. We got to flex a different way. We out here in a game. This the money game. This ain't the black man's game. This ain't the white man's game. This the money game.
Look at this snake. Hey, listen, let me tell you, brother, something. Let me tell you, brother, something, man. Let me get the scripture too loaded up, man, because this is why it's not about the goddamn money, man. It's not about the goddamn money. It's about the Most High and searching and growing in the Most High. And when you grow in the Most High, then if you need money or you getting money, that's cool. I'm not knocking getting money, but this is where money pollutes you, man. Is it right here, man? You hear this slave, man? Look at the Most High says, how much better it is to get wisdom than gold. It's better to get wisdom than gold. And to get understanding. This is what Steve and Monique lack. And Shay Shay and Cat Williams and Chris Tucker and Chris Rock and, Steve Harvey. This is what they lack. They lack the understanding of what's required of you as a man or a woman or as a creation of the Most High, how you're supposed to walk in the spirit of righteousness. They lack these things. See, they in the white man's world. They're in the so-called J people's world. These people deal with Kabbalah. They deal with the Talmud and all types of sorcery and witchcraft and sexual deviant behavior. This is what they deal with, man. That stuff will corrupt you. I don't care how strong you are. If you're around that thing long enough, it will corrupt you and it will eat you up. It will eat you up. And that's what's happening. It sounds like these people at one point had a good, close relationship with each other. And what happened? The fear of losing that money is destroying them or has already destroyed them. This is why, listen, the Most High speaks in terms of daily bread. It's good to just have your daily bread at times or live off your daily bread. It's good to just have a basic, simple lifestyle before it corrupts you. Again, the Most High says in Proverbs 16, verse 16, how much better it is to get wisdom than gold and to get understanding rather to be chosen than silver. It's better to be chosen than chasing silver or having silver lining your pockets. They both lack this. They both out of their damn minds. But I understand Monique's position, man. I understand. She feels slighted, man. But don't be fooled by her, man. Do not be fooled by her. She wants that cheddar too, and she can't get it. Check it out.
And do it any kind of way we want to. Listen to me. Your husband can't be the Sydney that he really is out here.
Let me tell you something.
That flexing, we got to flex a different way. We out here in a game. This the money game. This ain't the black man's game. This ain't the white man's game. This the money game. We in the money game. And you cannot sacrifice yourself. The best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. You can't.
The best thing you could do for poor people is not be one of them. Steve Harvey supposed to be a Christian. He's supposed to be a diehard Christian. Did you hear what he just said? Did you hear what he said?
White man's game. This is the money game. We in the money game. And you cannot sacrifice yourself.
You cannot sacrifice yourself.
The best thing you can do for poor people is not.
The best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. What is that supposed to mean? Come on, man.
This is the money game. We in the money game. And you cannot sacrifice yourself. The best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. You cannot help them.
We're in the money game, but let me tell you what the game is before the money game. Before the money game, it's called the integrity game. And we've lost the integrity worrying about the money.
But Mo,
and wait a minute.
If I crumble, my children crumble, my grandchildren crumble. I cannot, for the sake of my integrity, stand up here and let everybody that's counting on me crumble so I can make a statement. There are ways to win the war in a different way. We got more right after this.
Yeah, in a way, he's right. There's different ways to win the war. But ask yourself this, man. Would you really trust this dude? Would you really trust any of them? Would you really trust Monique? Steve Harvey? Separate yourselves from the broke. Keep playing. Yeah, that's right. Hey, man, I got to go back to work, though. But let me say this, man. Yo, man, sometimes, man, I think, damn, if I had money, I can go here. I could build a big studio. I could build a school for brothers. I could do A, B, and C. I could do all these things. If I had money, I could, travel the world and bring brothers with me. Or I could do it alone and do the A, B, and C. Or, you think a lot of things you can do and accomplish if you had money. But how do you know the money wouldn't pollute you? That is what he's really saying. That is exactly what he's really saying. Here's a question. How do you know the money won't pollute you? Or how do you know they won't set you up in that world? How do you know you won't change? That's the point I'm making. You got to think what those people are really living like in that world. You got to think on that. You got to think on that level, man, because that's a wicked, wicked setup. They might even go into stuff I want to touch into, man. I was talking about this so long, but you got to think on that level, man. But I got some other stuff I want to touch on, but I'll do that tonight. But real quick, let me see. Look at this. Look what's happening in New York. These dudes are the so-called migrants. They came up here to get rich. They thought the streets of New York City was paved with gold. Ain't nothing on New York City streets but gum and vomit and dog crap. That's what's there. But they thought that, this was the land of milk and honey, and look what's happening, man. All hell is breaking loose all over the country with the migrant situation. Look.
Executive order allowing for the NYPD to notify ICE about migrants who commit dangerous felonies.
How could you say these are not Israelites? How could you say these are not Israelites? You don't see no damn Chinese or Japanese or Elam, East Indians acting like this in New York City or anywhere.
What the fuck?
That looks like 40 seconds. Look at this. Look at this dude's hat. How are you going to tell me? Do you think Chinese can pull that off? Look at the look on these dudes and the gear they wearing. You think Chinese can pull that off? Or Elam, East Indians can pull that off? Hey, listen, I gotta go back to work, man. But listen, man, we got a lot to consider this year alone. This year alone, we have a lot to consider, man. And you have to listen, I'm telling you, brothers, keep your sanity. You sisters, keep your sanity and control your emotional. your emotions. So this is going to be an emotional roller coaster as time go on. But remember the money, man. The money, you're going to be surprised how many brothers and sisters have attached themselves to money. You're going to be very surprised. So, I'll see you brothers either tomorrow morning or tonight, though. I'll probably come back on tonight. But do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up if you're watching this. A thumbs down, share, subscribe, comment, share some love, show some love. But I'll get back to you, brothers and sisters, later. Man, stay in the spirit. Most High is blessed.